Hello and welcome to the Slingshot channel. The time has come. The PocketChete is here. Let me show you its features. Für die deutschsprachigen Benutzer, also es gibt auch eine deutsche Version von dem Video, wenn ihr das lieber schauen wollt, der Link ist gleich in der ersten Zeile in der Textbeschreibung. Danke. So as you see, it comes with two different pouches or sheath. So this one here is actually for carrying it in open condition, and this one is a pouch for carrying it in the closed condition. So if you take it out of the sheath, or is it sheath? I don't know. You tell me. Anyway, as you see, it's a really big hunk of D2 steel, 4mm blade thickness, and also the scales are 4mm Mikada scales, and it also flaps open. And then you have the back lock, and it locks in both conditions, open and lock. You have to press on it, and then it's like a locking system that is not unsimilar to the triad lock by Cold Steel, but since it's using a hexagonal pin and not a round pin, it doesn't infringe on their patent. In any case, so this is it in closed condition, and you cannot open it randomly. You still have to press on the lock again, so it locks in both open and closed condition. So you can convert it from open to close within a fraction of a second. Or maybe 1 or 2 seconds. And this is the pouch, the second one, that you can also carry on your belt. And you can put in the PocketChete like so, and close it. Very simple and not conspicuous. Now there's a lot of things that are special on this knife. First of all, it's a big and heavy knife, really heavy duty. And the lock system makes it nearly indestructible. But it also is made from the finest D2 steel, and that's a lot of D2 steel here. And it has nice Mikada scales. It's really well made. It's really sharp for a big knife like this one. It's really sharp. But the most special thing is actually applies to the German laws. This is pretty much a flipping the bird to German weapon laws. Because this is actually legal to carry, whereas a normal utility knife that's longer than 12 centimeters, about 5 inches or so, or maybe 6, is not legal to carry. So this is twice as long as normal, and that is because it's a folding knife, and folding knives are under a different set of laws. So because it's a two-hand opening folding knife, it is legal to carry in Germany in locked and open condition. This makes it really special. Now a lot of cops won't believe it, and therefore we put this QR code on here. And if you actually, take the camera from your smartphone and direct it to this one here, you will get a link with a really, really detailed explanation about how the law works and why this is legal to carry. Now, I don't think that a lot of people will actually do this, simply because it's a collector's piece, really. Like all my knives, there will never be a second production run, and there's only 5,000 pieces, so all of them are numbered. So this is number 1263 of 5,000. And the thing is that if you use a collector's knife like this one, it will lose value quickly. So people want those brand new, like just like new out of the box, with the original box, of course. So I would not recommend doing this if you want to retain the collector's value, even though this is, of course, a highly functional knife. I think it's just most collectors will just be happy to know that they could carry it in Germany legally if they wanted to. I don't think they will actually do it, because it's also heavy. Just for comparison, so this is not legal to carry in Germany because it's a fixed blade, and the blade is obviously longer than 12 centimeters, while this one is absolutely legal to carry since it's a two-hand opening folding knife and not a fixed blade knife. So this is the Böker Slike. I really like it. You can just push it open. This is sharp on both sides, which probably makes it a weapon in the German weapon law. So you cannot carry it, but even if it would not be considered a weapon, you can still not carry it because it's a one-hand opening knife and it locks in the open condition. You have to press on here to get it back. So, not legal to carry? Legal to carry. I love it. Now let's find out how fast you can open it. It's actually a fairly quick process. You just press on it, open it up, and boom, you got an open knife. And if you want to close it again, it's pretty much the same thing. Very simple. Now, of course, this is not the only long folding knife that is legal to carry in Germany. I actually have 2 more knives in my collection where the same legal situation applies, and I can now introduce them to you because I can use them to explain why I have done some of these design things the way I've done them. Okay, so the first one that we're going to look at is the Opinel number 13 from France. It's a really, really big folding knife like this. I mean, it's over 1/2 meter long. And you can actually lock it by turning this ring here, like the sleeve here. Now it's locked. And it is still very lightweight because it has a wooden handle and also a fairly thin blade, like very typical for the Opinel knives. It's very sharp. What I don't like is that it's really big. I mean, look, yes, it gives you a good purchase on the hand, but putting it in the pocket really, really is not comfortable. It's just so it creates a huge bulge, which some people may find welcome. I don't know. Appearance is important. In any case, it also, you need 2 hands to open it, and it's actually not so easy. There's a lot of friction, and therefore it can even lock in the closed condition just by twisting this way. But it's really not necessary because there's enough friction that this won't open accidentally. Well, of course, the design means that it is also quite long. If you compare it to the PocketChete, you can see that the blade length, actually, it's a little shorter than the blade length of the PocketChete, whereas the total length of it is much larger. See, the handle, of course, is a lot longer than this. While in closed condition, both knives are about the same size. So as you see, the length in closed condition is pretty much the same. And this is of course limited by the length of the blades. I mean, can't go any shorter than the length of the folded blade, can't you? Now, I much prefer the PocketChete because it opens much quicker, the lock is automatic, and also it's not as bulgy in the pocket. So this is, I think I find this much easier to carry than this. Now the second one that I'm going to show you is the Midgard Valhalla. And this is really a rare knife. I mean, it's completely sold out. They only made 150 pieces. And I think I have one of the prototypes because it's labeled 000 of 150. And I think they made like 10 of those, or maybe 15. So this knife is really special because the way how it opens, as you can see, there is like a complicated lever system. So you swing out the blade like so, and then it opens like so, like magic, like a 3D puzzle. And then it is a fairly thick hunk of a knife. I love it, don't you? And if you need to close it, you have this latch here, or you press on it, and then you can close it, and then you reverse the same thing. So a beautiful knife, but it has disadvantages. Okay, so the first disadvantage is actually that in comparison to the Mighty PocketChete, the blade is rather puny because it really only begins here. So if you compare it, you can see that this is a much longer blade than this one. Although this is by no means short. The comfort is actually not bad, although I don't really like to put my index finger in here. I like to put it up here, so you lose a little bit of this handle here. You can hold it like this, but I find it more comfortable here. Whereas the PocketChete, of course, has a typical machete handle, which gives you a ton of purchase for all kinds of things like hacking and slashing and everything. So, yeah, but also what I really don't like on it is that it is rattling a little bit. So you can see that the blade actually is not 100% firm. And you see there is some play in the mechanism, which I think is unavoidable, the way how it's done with all the levers and so on. Whereas the PocketChete, with this kind of lock here, is absolutely quiet. It doesn't rattle at all. It really feels like a fixed knife, even though it's a folding knife. And that also applies for the closed condition, of course. So this is like a Mercedes S-Class in that regard. It doesn't rattle, which I really love. Well, there is another disadvantage on the Valhalla, because, see, this one does not lock in closed condition, which means that I can open it quicker, because there's nothing I have to press on before I can open it. But look what happens when I turn this around. Yeah, see? It falls open, and I can even, like, probably shake this open when I really try, like so, right? And I don't like this at all, because heavy blades are dangerous. You can easily hurt yourself if you touch a knife that has opened some without you wanting it and without you expecting it. So this means that I decided to go with a locking position in the closed situation as well, in order to minimize the risk that you hurt yourself doing this. And the price that you have to pay is that you have to push a little lever before you can open it, since otherwise the blade of the PocketChete is so heavy that it would also do this if it would not lock. It would also, just gravity does this for you, pull down the heavy blade and open it. And I don't want this. This is why I decided to go for a dual lock, open and closed. But I have to say I'm really proud that this is a piece of my collection now. I even got this little holder for it, like a belt pouch. I think it's 3D printed, but it fits really well and I think it looks super cool. Okay, so how can you get it? Well, we will get a total of 5,000 pieces. They come in batches, so the first batch, 2,400 pieces, is already in Germany. And if you have an address in Germany, you would be able to get it really, really quickly. But of course, if you live in the UK or in the US, you have to expect some delivery time, since we have to transport the PocketChetes over into that respective country first, which is taking a long time to the US specifically, since it's sea freight. Those are heavy knives. And this means that you have to expect at least 8 to 9 weeks delivery time if you order it. But you can order it on the respective GoGun sites. And I also expect that they will be sold out pretty quickly. The last 2 knives that I brought out were also limited. They were gone within like a week or so, and now the collector's value has gone through the roof. Like the Pocket Ulfbert is now sold at, I saw it going for over 500 euros. And if you can find an S90V variant, there were only 200 of those. So those are super hard to find. And even the D2 variant, which was sold cheaper, at just 99 euros, now easily is sold for more than 200. So, and this is just a short while, just like a year and a half after we released it. So expect that this is going to sell out quickly. So if you want one, I recommend ordering it quickly. I know it sounds cheesy, like a cheap salesman's trick, but it is probably the truth. I do have 2 non-commercial, at least from my side, little updates for you. One is the 3D printed RS Expo Government 1911 rubber equipped repeating pistol crossbow made by Daniel, and he upgraded it a little bit. I think he improved the optics by attaching a few details here, and also he attached like a lower rail here, Picatinny rail. I love it because it's so nice, and I also think it's fairly powerful for its size. Bang! You can find the link to his files down there. Also, Faramir has released the files for his version of the mini adder with a quick repeating functionality. I made a video about it because I love it, love it, love it. It's so cool because it shoots so fast. He improved a little bit like I suggested it, so I made this one here from wood. This means that when you clap it open, you can't clamp your hand in, see? Because this keeps your finger away from the underside of the magazine, so that's one of the cool features. And the other cool feature is that here now is like a centering pin, a little notch here, that corresponds to an opening in here. And I made this in wood too, but he added it in plastics. His version even can be outfitted with a real lock, which I don't like because then you lose the fast repeating. So let me take out this here and reload it. And I think the fast repeating functionality is what makes this weapon so cool. Can't imagine a more beautiful thing. Will you find the link to his files down there in the text as well? I really recommend it, it's so much fun. So the PocketChete, I hope you liked it, because I, for one, really appreciate that you gave me your attention. Thank you, and bye-bye.